I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm doing it anyway. That was a quote that somebody said in a meeting that I was in the other night, and I thought it was so amazing. It resonated with me, and I thought we're going to talk about that and unpack that today because it resonates on so many levels. When you roll into an area where you go, I am so out of my league, and yet you have the fortitude to be able to go, let's keep going anyway. Hi, welcome to the channel. If you're brand new here, my name is Kevin Gregg. I'm a creative writer, director, producer. I am here to help you get your creative work done and to help you make a thriving living from doing it. Yes, I've got a community. It's called Working Creatives, where we have people join as they're trying to get their creative work done. And we were having a meeting the other night, and one of my friends and participants was in this meeting, and I'm going to leave the details very specific because it's her story to tell. But she was sharing that she was going into a new area with some of her creative work. She was working in a new form that she's never really done before, and you know, it's definitely out of her comfort zone. And she said that phrase. She said, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm doing it anyway. And, apparently she's had, some success as she's been experimenting in this new format and getting some good feedback. And it's like amazing. And when she said this phrase the other day, I just thought, my gosh, that's so brilliant. That's exactly what we need to be doing, especially with our creative work. And I've been there before. I've been there before, and I'm in that moment now. One of the things that came into my mind as I was getting this video ready, um, I had this experience years ago, which I've shared before on this YouTube channel. But I remember getting cast in a musical comedy regular show that would happen at the Disneyland Resort. And even though I'd done years of, you know, comic improv stuff, performance and acting, not a problem, and familiar with being able to do singing, uh, choreography, not really my strong suit, right? Like these points where I'm just kind of going, can I kind of fake through some of the stuff that I'm doing? And yeah, I remember getting cast in the show. The show was Fantasy Fair down in Disneyland, and not a strong dancer, but like going for it anyway. And I remember getting cast in that show, and it shared with the director and the creative team, like going, it's brand new. I'm going to be learning this as I go. And I remember Mark McConville, comedian, actor, part of the Super Ego team. I remember he and I getting paired up, and we were just kind of like holding on to each other as just like, like buddies, like survival buddies, as we went through this process of like, you know, being taught by the choreographer who was very kind and very generous to us, taking her time, really unpacking this stuff and talking us through step by step as we would do it. And just like punching through it and stuff that would come very easily for other people, but like showing up and just like doing the work and trying to teach the body how to do the new stuff and eventually getting into it where I was, regularly cast in the show. And that show was great for me. For 5 years I was in that show, and a regular member of it, and just grateful that I had that experience. And then several years later after that, I was working teaching. I was invited to help teach visiting middle school and high school groups that were coming to the resort. But part of the thing that you had to do was you also had to be. It wasn't just acting scenes that you were doing. You were also teaching choreography, and it was like, ugh, out of my comfort zone, right? Of being in a moment of going, holy smokes, how do I, number one, learn how to not only do the choreography myself so that it will look, semi decent, but now I've also got to turn around and to teach it. And in both of these scenarios where it was like, this isn't my strong suit, I don't know how to do this. This is all brand new territory for me. And yet, in each of those things, for me, driving force in both of those scenarios was like, hey man, you do this, you start getting, some decent money that's coming your way. So if you walk away from this, if it feels uncomfortable and you go, oh, I don't want to do this, I'm not comfortable with it, leaving thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars just on the table and just walking away from it. And just having that moment of going, no, I got to punch through this. I got to punch through this for a number of reasons, which is like, this is money that would be good for me and my family, but also this is helping me learn like it's not impossible that you can do this stuff. So going back to the comment that my friend said the other day of like, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm doing it anyway. You have to have that mentality in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit whenever you're approaching creative work, because especially as creatives, we want to get comfortable, right? We want to go, no, no, no. I just want my little set thing and let me just do my set little thing. And then that's just a thing that I'll just keep repeating over and over and over again. Here's also the other issue that I've discovered, and part of this also comes from my performance background. I will tell you this, having worked in shows over the years, and sometimes being in some comedy shows where you know what the beats are, you know what the entrances and lines are and the beats of the thing. Um, when you're doing the same type of shows over and over and over and over and over again, and you're doing it well, if you get to a point where you're just kind of going, oh yeah, I got this. I know what the beats are and everything. You may have this perceived feeling of like going, oh yeah, I'm just going along and everything's going great. It doesn't stay at that same standard. You're either doing one of two things. You're either trying to experiment, push, try to put new elements in, try to experiment with different beats or different lines or things like that that you can do to freshen it up and to stretch yourself so that you're growing. Or if you're trying to just do the same thing over and over and over again, and you think that you're staying here, you're not. Really, what's happening is that you're starting to decline. You just can't see it because you're so stuck in the middle of what you're doing um, that you can't see that there is a natural tendency towards um, atrophy and decline and decay that starts to happen with something. You have to be continuously trying to grow, stretch, and get into new territories. And even as I'm saying this to you, it's something that I have to continually experiment with as well. What are new programs that I can be using or techniques that I can be using with video or writing or outreach to people? And it's not about just chasing like what's the next new thing, right? But there is something about going, okay, I need to be continuing to develop myself. Yeah, I get it. Like the term lifelong learner can be overused, but you have to be in that state. That applies to your life. You need to be in a state of lifelong learning for your entire life, of always learning and growing, right? And you need to be also doing that with your creative work and with your outreach. Just don't stay right where you are. I don't know what that is for you. If you've been used to writing, you know, long form stories, is there something in experimenting with writing short stories or writing screenplays or writing poetry, or writing nonfiction, um, or articles? Are there other things that you could be experimenting with that? If you've been doing video format, right? Is there Are there different ways that you could experiment on different platforms, or is it about like reaching into things like CGI programs to see, okay, well, I know what this stuff looks like in film stuff. Can I learn how to do that with computer animation or with rendering? How can I apply those skills with this? Where, maybe I've been relying on I need to have all of these tools and all this other stuff that's available to me. What happens if I learn how to do that on a smaller scale where I can create this stuff in my computer and replicate those shots, right? Or if you're a filmmaker and then you've never really expanded on your drawing or sketching or painting styles, is that something that you need to be flexing? Or maybe you've, tooled around with musical instruments or singing or dancing or something like that, where you just need to go, yeah, maybe I need to learn some of that and broaden my mind in those other things. And I don't know how to do this, but I need to learn how to do it, right? This is a thing that I'm continually finding on this platform, not only with working creatives, but there's a lot of this stuff that's involved in it. I'll be frank. Part of the stuff that you're doing, especially as a creative, and especially if you're a creative that wants to be making a living from this and a thriving living from this, you have to learn business. You have to learn business and how to do sales and outreach and development and marketing. You have to learn those things. As much as people want to say, well, I'm just an artist and I'm just in this place and I just do that and somebody else does that stuff for me. Sorry, guys, that's not how the world is working. This goes right back to stories which I've shared before with having been a working commercial actor for years and having great success in it, where I was around a whole bunch of other guys that were so used to like, oh yeah, I just go out, I do my audition, and then next thing, boom, I'm in a beer commercial that pays me, 70, 80, $100,000 a year, and then that's it. Well, guess what? The market changed. The market changed to a point where, you know, advertisers weren't paying that type of money on their stuff. And all of a sudden, these things that these guys had set, and they said, oh, well, all I just have to do is just do commercials for the rest of my life. Guess what? The market completely dropped out from underneath those guys. And all the stuff that was going to union people are now going to non-union people. The demographics of who they were bringing in for the commercials completely changed, you know? So it was just in a second, all of your world turned upside down. I remember seeing on, at that point, I was invited to a Facebook group that somebody had added me to. And you see all these guys complain, like, I don't understand why I'm not getting the type of work that I used to do, and it needs to be this way. And people demanding that the world stay where they are. That's not how it works. You have to be learning and adapting. That's what life is. Of like saying, okay, here's the next thing. How do I respond to it, not react to it? And how do I learn to adapt and grow and thrive? That's how you do it. So you're going to have things that come your way that you just go, I don't know how to do that. And I guess I'm going to learn how to do it. It's not it should never be, I don't know how to do that. Therefore, I'm not even going to try. No, it's exactly what my friend said. I don't know how to do this, and I'm doing it anyway. You got to learn how to do it anyway and embrace the fact that there's going to be a learning curve and not getting it right and banging your head against the wall and feeling like it's just not working. I don't know what's happening. Okay, keep showing it up. Keep showing up. Keep showing up and getting it done. What's one of the things that helps with that? Being around like-minded people that are also striving towards the same thing. It may not be exactly the same thing that you're doing it, but you need to be getting around other people that are on the same path. And then that way, as you're all kind of working together towards the same goal, you can be encouraging each other along the way. What's a great way to do that? Working creatives is a great way to do that. If you take a look below in the description for this video, you'll see the link to our group. It's on the school platform, skool.com, school.com platform, underneath Working Creatives. Come on over there and join it. You got a whole bunch of like-minded people that are trying to show up and get their work done every day, even if it's just about discovering, I don't know what creative project to work on, or how do I show up consistently and get my creative work done, right? We talk about that. And over the next several months from when I recorded this video, we're going to be talking about like, how do I learn these new skills of audience outreach and engagement and learning marketing or learning how to like monetize my creative work. We'll be exploring that too over there together. So head on over to the Working Creatives community and join in, right? It's free. You might as well join in and start getting your work done. So thanks for joining me here on this video. If you liked this video and you want to get more stuff like this that's going to help you get your creative work done, please like, share, subscribe, do all of that, and then let other people know about it. I will keep showing up here and I will keep helping you and encouraging you so that you get the work done on a daily basis and start learning and growing so that you can thrive doing this stuff. Thanks so much for watching us in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.